morning. Thank you for joining me. Today I want to talk about how you can use technology as a force multiplier for nonprofits. I think a lot is lost nowadays, and when you think about technology, everybody's screaming about cybersecurity or something, but really the purpose of technology is to allow you to do more with less, which I know everybody here is used to doing. So I'm going to cover a few things. Introduction about who we are, who I am, how building the foundation, how you can use technology for communication and outreach, how you can use it for fundraising and donations. Really, that's one of the big ones, how you can automate that giving. How do you get in front of more people and tell stories that result in more donations? And then volunteer management. What are some ways that you can reach different volunteers with platforms and technology and organize them, schedules, etc. Okay. Then we'll go into a Q&A session, and I have something that I want to bring up in that Q&A session, a little demo. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. That's really what technology is about, right? You know, getting the foundation solid for you to be able to scale your efforts. So objective for today is leave here with one idea, just one idea that you can implement today in your nonprofit. So first I want to talk about building the foundation. Now this is really fundamental for enabling you to scale. So if you can adopt some of these technology best practices from the get-go, and this is specifically really if you have plans to scale the nonprofit, if you're looking to grow it and reach more people, having an efficient foundation kind of helps you move on to the next level. So, I don't know if you can see this up here. My laser pointer doesn't work.
Yeah, we got it.
But, first and foremost, utilize nonprofit donation schemes for technology. There's TechSoup, there's grants for Microsoft, there's grants for Google. Establish some professional email and communication and document storage and phone system communication flow. Establish systems to be able to work and collaborate from anywhere. These two kind of go hand in hand as they're the same system, but enabling you, whether it's Google, whether it's Microsoft, enabling you to have, a foundation to work off of kind of gives you credibility. Like, okay, I'm my email at the domain and that type of thing. And then don't sleep on this right here, because there is almost a nonprofit function of all major softwares and all major things that you want to do. So if you are, a nonprofit and have the right paperwork, you can get registered and get a lot of things for free. Also establish everything with security in mind. So, if you have security from the get-go and you make it a habit and you are ingrained with it from the start, it's not that hard to kind of keep doing it. So that way you don't risk reputational damage or website getting hacked, things of that nature. And then finally, if we get towards the end and we have enough time, which looks like we will, use ChatGPT to create your content. I'm going to do a demo of this, and I'm going to bring it up, and I'm going to show you how powerful it is for you to use in your day-to-day. Writing content, crafting your message, asking questions about grant writing. All these, hey, write me a grant for XYZ, boom, boom, boom. That type of thing. So these are all basics that you can utilize as kind of the foundation as a springboard to ensure that you are, able to mature and build off these things. So next, communication and outreach, reaching those in need that can help your mission. So there's a lot of automation opportunities here. There's a lot of ways that you can use with free tools, by the way. These are all free. The way I would do it, use ChatGPT to write your content, spend a day doing it, and then schedule it to go out on these tools via social media, marketing, emails, everything that you want to kind of get your name out there by telling these stories. Or the story that you just told was a perfect example. Write that up, you can automate it to a post, and you could schedule that, okay, once a year at this time, repeat that story. And then you can kind of stagger it all out. There's free tools that allow you to do this. So automating a lot of this allows you to reach the community more efficiently than having to type the post yourself and then hit post and then remember, oh, that story from so long ago. You can have a library that you could reuse. Use ChatGPT again to help you create the content, which we'll go into. So using those Google ad grants allow you to get to connect with people that are in need, and you could also use it for things like reaching out for donations, for example. How do I give back to the community? Like things like that. You can tune that for various searches. And then last but not least, everything else really revolves around gathering data. So if you have lists of people that are good at that are previous donation opportunities, or they are impactful in the community and they want to give back, or conversely, it's somebody in need that you may want to be able to reach on a regular basis, gather the CRM data at events. Impact Play has done a good job at that with the one tap, the little QR code, gather the events. We have a whole CRM database. Now take those, you can put them into a CRM, and then you can automate activities on those based off their characteristics. So this is a helper, or this is somebody in need. So take those two, and you can have various steps that follow based off what category you put them in. So once you have that CRM data, how do you put it to use to really advance your mission? There are entire platforms and suites around fundraising and donations that allow you to regularly stay in touch for those that want to give back. So utilize a donor management system. There's actually purpose-built donor management systems for nonprofits, and they're like very low cost or free that allow you to regularly ask for donations or tell stories that make them want to give back. And if you reach out to them on a regular basis, you can set up things like recurring donation schemes. Like, okay, how about $5 a month? How about $1 a month towards our goal? Regularly communicate with them and set up regular communication about and tell stories. There's like notable ones out there. Blackbaud's a big one, like the biggest name. And I'll have a tool and kind of resource sheets with all these different toolings out there. Salesforce has a nonprofit CRM. Mm-hmm. It's like a whole nonprofit-driven Salesforce CRM where it automates and can help you scale your request for donation. So you could say, hey, I need to request out all my, to those we're short on cash at this time for this effort. We need to drum up some business, some money, etc. Using the donor management system allows you to do that really efficiently. Just type the message out, schedule it, or do a campaign to say, okay, I want to do this, and this to reach out to them prior to the goal. So on top of that, these systems allow you to set up ways you can accept donations through your website and social media channels. So connecting all this together, in the background, really the goal here is we're getting the data, contact info, emails for future donations. So once there's a one-time donation, you have their info and you can reach back out to them. So if you integrate all these systems together, it becomes really easy to reach back out to them when things are needed. And think about it not just from like specific individual donors, but corporate sponsors too. If you have corporate sponsorship, or there's like a director of giving for an organization or somebody on the board, you can have them in the system to do that, as well as people that you can reach out to that maybe in need. And finally, last but not least, this one's probably something you guys have all heard of, but crowdfunding for larger initiatives. There's GoFundMe, Kickstarter, Patreon, all these different platforms that you can use for a specific goal in mind, right? Hey, we are trying to do this food drive, and we want to hit, $20,000 in donations. Well, now that you have this set up, use the communication and outreach tools that you have. You get the name out there, plug that in the donor management system and say, hey, we're trying to hit this goal, right? That will allow you to reach everybody that has resources that they want to use to, move the needle for your cause. So kind of last but not least, this one is for volunteers. So for volunteers, it's really, there's a lot of different ways that you can find and manage volunteers to help those in need. Some of the foundational items that I spoke about originally with Google and Microsoft actually have volunteer management for nonprofits capability built into them. So you can actually, like, if you are a nonprofit and you are in Microsoft Suite, for example, there's a whole volunteer management platform that you could use to coordinate volunteers, communicate with them, have it. It goes back to the data, you have a CRM and database of volunteers, and now you're saying, hey, we need volunteers for X, Y, Z. Reach out to all of them rather than kind of back in an email system. Like, okay, who am I going to email this time for X, Y, Z opportunity? So that's that one. And then, using systems like Volunteer Match and Idealist, when I moved down here, I wasn't connected to the world. So I was here in 2010, and I was looking for ways to give back, volunteer, and meet people. I was like, what a better way to connect with people that maybe and build relationships from a volunteer system. So I was on Volunteer Match. I still get emails about volunteer systems, and opportunities there. So those things allow you to make reach more folks from a volunteer standpoint. And if I can get that right, it's supposed to play. It's an escalator out.
Oh, I gotcha. Needed.
Yeah. Well, but now's the Q&A. So I want to take a few minutes and bring up ChatGPT.